I'm very excited today that I have a very special person on the line. His name is Healy, and maybe you know him from this great book, The Success Principles for Teens, that he has written together with Jack Canfield, who was also introduced in The Secret, just as Bob Proctor. And actually, Kent's journey began when he was 16 years old. I believe that he's 24 years old right now, and since then he's read hundreds of books. He's been always coached, always active in personal development, and he's born in California but went to New Zealand to live there for 8 years when he was 10 years old, and he started his first business at age 15. Kent Healy, it's a great pleasure to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you very much. It's exciting to be here as well.
What do you think is the biggest misunderstanding about success, or what success is?
I would say it's mistaking achievement for fulfillment. I think that's the biggest problem. A lot of people, when they think of success, they think of going out there and accomplishing a goal and making it happen, and I think that's part of it. But just simply accomplishing goals is not going to mean that you're successful. I know people who are great at the science of success, meaning, they know what to do to get a specific result, but they're miserable at the end of the day, and then that's not success to me. I really believe that, the biggest misunderstanding is overlooking the other part, as Tony Robbins says, the art of fulfillment, and it really is an art because you have to work at it and discover what, how you as an individual can go about feelings of passion and happiness and curiosity. That I think is probably even greater than accomplishing the goal in the first place, because the art of fulfillment is really what keeps you going. That's your fuel.
Yeah.
That's what makes life exciting. So that's what I think.
Okay, and you just also mentioned that with having success, it is important that you know what your purpose is, so you can have success in that specific area. There are probably a lot of people on the line listening and asking this question to themselves: what is my purpose, or how do I find it? Do you have any advice on that specific theme?
Well, the easiest thing to do in finding your purpose is really just being aware of what makes you most excited, what really gets you, energetic and optimistic about the future. That is probably the first sign to really discovering what your purpose is. Because if you are on purpose, then you will have an unbelievable sense of passion and energy flowing through you. So that's the sign that you're getting warmer. But also, sometimes the purpose may change. As a teenager, you want to accomplish one thing, and then you get in your mid-20s, and all of a sudden, hey, you feel like, hey, I should be doing this with my life right now. And it's okay. It can change over time. But the point is that you set some time aside from the busyness of everyday life to set goals and think about them and what you really want from life. And eventually you'll be directed in the right direction. I think there's not enough time that people give themselves for, personal solitude, which is just sitting down, meditating, reflecting, going through little goal-setting exercises. I think that's really, really important. A lot of people who say, I have no idea what my purpose is, and I ask them, well, when's the last time you did your own goal-setting workshop? And they say, well, I've never done it. And that's the thing. Usually your purpose is not given to you by a strike of lightning. You really need to seek it out. So again, just by simply pursuing it and trying to find it, you increase your chances of doing so.
Yeah, and then we're really talking about habits for success. You already mentioned setting time aside to coach yourself and to work on your goals. What are your habits for success? What are you doing to keep that process going up? Am I in alignment with my purpose? Am I doing what's right? What kind of stuff do you do, and do you recommend everyone is listening right now?
Well, habits are an interesting thing. It's one thing to decide you want a specific habit. It's another to really make it a habit and make it happen, because it doesn't happen overnight. That's probably one of the biggest misconceptions of habits. For me, I've had to work really, really hard since a very young age to develop discipline. And I think one of my greatest habits is if I set a goal and commit myself to it, I'll make sure that I follow through and do it. Because in the real world, what's been amazing to me is how many talkers there are. How many people who say, yeah, I'm gonna accomplish this goal. I'm gonna make $1 million. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. But then when it comes down to it, when the rubber meets the road, they don't follow through. They don't take that first step. They don't take action. So for me, I mean, my greatest habit, again, I think is just really committing myself to something and taking action to do it. I mean, I've realized that getting started is often 50% of the process.
Yeah.
Because you can develop momentum, and then once you have that, it's hard to slow you down. And that is one habit that I think encourages other positive habits. Just by taking action, you start learning. You get feedback about the world. Am I on target or am I off target? And then you can adjust accordingly. But that also helps you build more skills. The more action you take, the more skills you build, the more knowledge you gain, and the better your life becomes.